Well, Google's in trouble again. And though I put this story up not because it's Google, it's just funny to see EU and the FTC and whatever suing Google over and over again. I guess they're making them an example for the rest of the industry. So let's jump into it. AI overviews. The EU has filed antitrust complaints and legal against Google's AI overviews that stop people from clicking through the website because they get their answer right away. What's going on here, John?
Yeah. And this hits home because I do this 90% of the time now. So for those of you that don't know, it's when you search for something on Google now, you pretty much now almost every time you'll see a box at the top with an AI generated summary of the answer. Now, it's not always right. It's not always accurate, but it's there. And so the summary is created by Google's AI analyzing content from various websites, including news sites and publishers, and then creating the summary. So the problem is, and I'll say I'm a huge proponent, not a huge proponent, but I'm guilty of this, is they'll get their answers from the summary box and never click through to the original source. Now I'm starting to click through a lot more often because I'm starting to see that as I'm fact checking it, it's not the most accurate. But for those that aren't fact checking, that are just using it, this is a huge problem. And it's essentially about the fundamental economics of the internet, because publishers make money from people visiting their websites, either through advertising, subscriptions, or other revenue streams. And so if Google's AI provides the answers directly without sending users to publishers' sites, well, what's going to happen? I think this is a very critical and valuable battle that's happening. And I think it's very relevant.
Yeah, so on July 4th, the Independent Publishers Alliance filed their complaint, targeting both the European Commission and UK competitors and market authority. These publishers represent the backbone of independent journalism and content creation in the UK. They're united to challenge what they see as Google's unfair advantage in the digital marketplace. Now, I laugh a little when I say Google's just been made example of, because they just got told they have to sell Chrome. And so, we'll have to see what's happening there. But in the last month, how many new browsers have you seen launch? I've seen at least 10.
Yeah.
At least 10. And these have to do with AI based. So just as there's competition coming out to crush Google Chrome, Google has to sell Chrome. All right. It's just interesting. And now we say, okay, AI summaries. Well, Perplexity, OpenAI, every search engine's doing them. Every AI platform is doing them. So is this the thin piece of the wedge that says, okay, as soon as we get something from Google around this, we're going to get something from everyone else? And this is, again, why I mentioned earlier offline, a Cloudflare CEO was talking about how they're going to do their best to stop bot traffic from scraping these sites. So if you've got scrapers or bots doing stuff, it's going to be harder and harder for you to get through. Now, I don't know what it means for AI browsers. I don't know what it means for all these other technologies out there, but I know that everyone's going to be involved in how this turns out. So I'm of two minds. Like, if you can scrape, if it's publicly available on the internet, why can I not go download it and use it as my own thing? Like, when I say download, use it as my own thing, I mean, hey, your article's out there. I'm going to go get 20 different articles, research them all together, and put as much information as I can into a paper. Like, wouldn't people do that?
Yeah. Well, this is different than like using an AI and saying, what are the best websites for whatever. This is different than that, because then that's actually providing with websites and it's providing with links. And I think that's where we're going with this. As far as, I don't think the AI summaries are good. I don't think they're good at all. I think that curated list is better, and there are new strategies on how to get into those curated lists and things like that. But I don't think these AI summaries are the future, and I'm glad that they are. I'm glad that they are going after this, because that is 100% unfair. They're taking away from the publishers, from the websites, and just kind of creating their own summary that is not always accurate. And that's the problem.
So I think what we get into was what is fair use. I get that what's happening is people that aren't clicking through to the sources. And I get that. I run several websites, and though my SEO is working great and I get, on torontostarts.com, we get over 240,000 impressions a month. The click-throughs aren't as high as you would expect. So it's just because, guess what? AI summaries, they get the information and off they go, right? So what does that mean? What is fair use? I publish my information so people can see it, but as say New York Times or as a university or as an educator, you're publishing your information so people come to your site. And as you said, it's the economy of the web. You come to my site, that's traffic I can either add or monetize, or I can sell you something. But if you never come to my site, those options don't exist.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. I don't think Google's stupid. I think they have a larger strategy in mind with these AI summaries that they're just not sharing. I think that they have this that we can't see. I think that's what they have, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, and again, they're all doing this. So, Google just happens to be the number one search engine, right? And let's face it, people, when they're searching, most people are looking for an answer to a question. Some people are looking for not necessarily answers to questions. I'm looking for specific sites to go and get information I need. I don't necessarily want the AI to answer it for all sorts of reasons, because I want to look at the features of a product and compare the two myself to find out, what's the difference. I could ask AI and say, what's the difference between these products? But if I don't know they exist and I don't go search them myself, how do I know those things, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So there is a disconnect between what Google, the search companies, and the AI companies. Again, they're all doing it. OpenAI is doing it. Perplexity is doing it. Claude's doing it. They're all searching the internet and coming back with answers. Yeah. Some of them, provide you links and you can go look at those answers or where those sources are. But if they get the answers and you don't get the traffic, you don't get the membership, what has to change? What are the rules? So say I can no longer use any information from your website without what? It's publicly available. I can go. So if I read it and then do something with it, that's okay because I went to your website. But if I have a bot grab the information off your website because it follows an RSS feed and then potentially scrapes it, grabs it, injects it in a newsletter and ends up with a link back to your site, but that whole process is automated and is bot traffic and you don't want that. So, the idea of how the internet works is going to be changing.
Yeah. Well, we're witnessing what could be the largest content appropriation in internet history, right?
Of course, yes.
And it's not about fair competition. It's more about coercion because publishers are facing an impossible choice. Let Google use your content or train its AI or become invisible to search. And it's absolutely crazy. It's scary. Yeah, absolutely scary. Let's hope. I'm hoping that these new AI platforms will change the landscape and take things away from Google search. That's my hope.
Yeah, and so the complaint is that, there's no opt-out mechanism. And the problem, again, with opt-out mechanisms is great. Now no one can find you. So what do you do there, right?
Yeah.
So it is you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. And we did a episode where we talked about Google doing that test in the EU, and we talk about Google not being stupid. They knew this was coming. Google did a test in the EU about they disconnected all those news sources, remember? And then they lost less than 1% or maybe 1.4% of their traffic or something, and they said it had no significant impact on their business. So they've already fired back preemptively around this. So the negotiation has started. Where do you think the negotiation is going to go?
I don't know. I think Google's going to stand its ground, 100%. Because they're losing ground on search because of AI. So they need a way to draw people into search. And so these AI summaries are the way to get people to use Google search.
Yeah, everybody, that's John tapping on his desk, making that noise every time he's
Sorry.
that's all right. I just wanted to mention it.
Realize
It gets worse at the end of the episode. You're trying to make your point. Yeah, so we'll have to see. Of course, they're going to stand their ground because it's their business. So search and monetizing search is their business, and if they can't have ads and click throughs and get the eyeballs that people want, that they have a problem.
Yeah,
and businesses have a problem if they're not getting the eyes that they want. So the world is switching models from an SEO model to an what is it called, AIEO model, where they're trying to get AI engine optimization, where your company, your brand stands out in OpenAI, in all the different AI engines. So where people are Googling you or searching for stuff, you prop to the surface as a result of that. So there's a whole process going on where if people convert from SEO to this AI EO, and it's a brave new world, and it's to be interesting to see where we go with that and what happens. I think the world is going to change, and I'll throw another political thing in there. We've had we're here in Canada, and Carney just got rid of that digital services tax they put on not too long ago to tax the U.S. Digital services companies. So if the EU goes after U.S. companies with this kind of thing, what is the government going to do in response? So I'm just wanted to throw that out there because it's an unknown, right? To say, wait a minute, okay, that's another tariff you're applying on us. So here we go. So I think this is multi-layered, and we'll have to see where this goes. And I think everybody on all sides has a point. Like, it's public information. People are asking me questions. If we search, crawl, whatever, all these sites, is that now illegal? Are we going to have to make rules around that? And then you say, okay, if you like crawling sites, get out there now and crawl as much as you can, because eventually they're going to stop that. And I think that's what Cloudflare's doing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll see. Like, there's the captcha, like the captchas, they tried to stop it with a whole bunch of different things. Nothing works long term yet.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. I do some web scraping for some stuff I do. I don't do a lot of it, but I scrape different articles when I'm researching stuff for this. So say, okay, go out, hey Google, hey Perplexity, go out and search on, what's going on with this EU versus a Google summary. So we'll search multiple articles and come back with a bunch of information so we can put together, understand what's happening here. And I'll want to continue to do those things. So, what happens? What does that mean? Where is the revenue going to go? And are there new revenue models on the horizon as, search dominance is changing, as we see more and more searches are happening off of Google, and that's going to switch. So I'm loving watching this. I'm interested to see what the business models will be. I know a lot of people are on different sides of this. If you're financially impacted, you're definitely on the, hey, Google, F off, and start sending people back to my site point of view. But the world is changing. So I'm happy these lawsuits are happening, because we can't let tech companies just do whatever they want, and we need some rules and regulations around business. They can't, flip a switch overnight and all of a sudden everyone business stop because they're no longer linking. They are the source of news or information for everything. So be interesting to see what they do. I'm glad this is happening at a level. I don't usually like a lot of government involvement, but at the same time, we've seen a lot of crap with TOS, terms of service, and these kinds of things where it looks like maybe they should get involved, because these tactics aren't great, and we need some rules and some people talking about it so the internet can move forward in a safe and economic way.
Yeah.
So we'd love to hear what you think about this. Put your comments below. So what do you got going on, John?
Oh, I don't even know when this is coming out. So September?
No, we're only a couple of weeks ahead now, so we'll probably come out late July. So if this isn't coming before July 22nd, we have a July 22nd Flowgrammer meetup featuring Superbase. Going to be great. I think you're presenting at that. I'm presenting at. We got a couple other people lined up. The swag from Superbase has been sent, so it's on its way. Awesome. I don't know what that is, but we'll see when it arrives. And in August, we'll be doing another Flowgrammer event. I haven't picked the date and whatnot yet. And we'll be back at Start of Investor Drinks in September. But
Nice.
what do you got going on? I saw something where you're presenting.
Oh, yeah. Well, this will be passed. It's life. Yeah. I will have presented on government funding. And if you have any questions on government funding, reach out to me on LinkedIn, John Irwin.
Fantastic. For everything else, check out flowgrammer.ca for business and AI automation. We'd love to hear from you. If you're looking to automate stuff in your business, go over to flowgrammer.ca. Find out our events in Toronto where we do our local meetup events. We're going to start some online stuff, some inner circle stuff coming soon. But check out everything going on over there for business automation. Book a free call if you like. And for everything else, for our startup community, go check out torontostarts.com. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening.
Thanks, everyone.